Okay, friends, we will start the second lecture on this topic, that is Introduction to Spectroscopy. Then the next one concept, that is different region of electromagnetic radiations. There are a lot of number of regions are involved in electromagnetic radiation. Then we have to study different region in the electromagnetic radiation. The electromagnetic radiation, which includes entire wave system from very short to very long wavelength, we call as spectrum. In the spectrum, we can consider the various electromagnetic radiations range of small, very short to very long wavelength. We call as spectrum. Only a small region of spectrum is visible to human eyes and is called as visible light or simply light, and the rest of the radiation is invisible. If we are seen with each other or anything in the world, we can see by means of this radiation. And this radiation is emitted by sun along with invisible radiations too. Only a very small wavelength of radiation we can see by our naked eyes, and these naked eyes seeing this visible light we call as simply white light or visible light. And different regions of electromagnetic radiations are invisible. We cannot see these radiations. This is the chart of various regions involved in wavelength and frequency. This is the wavelength and this is the frequency. Start with very small wavelength or very high. We can start with high wavelength. That is, the very first is radio, then microwave, then IR, then visible, then UV, then X-ray, and this is gamma ray. If you can see here in the chart, the very short wavelength visible, the very short wavelength visible, this range we can see to anything in the world. Then practically the spectrum is divided into 7 regions. These all are gamma rays, X-rays, UV, visible, IR, microwave, radio. These are electromagnetic waves. These electromagnetic waves are classified as in 7 regions. The shorter wavelength or higher frequency, if it is considered as short wavelength, we can add my, I think, equation 1.3 is lambda is that is frequency is inversely proportional to the wavelength. Means if it is higher frequency, then lower wavelength or shorter wavelength. If it is higher wavelength, then lower frequency. Is so that the shorter wavelength, then higher frequency, are located on the left side of the region. If you can see here, this is wavelength, and one minute. Okay, this is wavelength. At left side, this is left side of your chart. Then this is lower wavelength, the shorter wavelength. That is shorter wavelength, and we can call as frequency. In terms of frequency, it is the higher frequency. Are located is left side. Are located as left side. Then once again, the longer wavelength or lower frequency region are on the right side. This is the right side. And in between these two narrow regions within the spectrum are called as visible region and the X-ray region. This is your visible region. And only the visible part of the spectrum is called as white light, while the rest of the radiations are electromagnetic radiation. If you can carefully observe the chart, here the visible range is very short, and this visible radiations we call as white light. After that, radiation, microwave radiation, IR radiation, UV radiation, X-ray radiation, gamma rays, we cannot see by your naked eyes. Only the visible light is seen by your eyes. Then the next one is 7 regions. We can study one by one, starting with radio wave. Radio wave, that is lowest frequency wave in electromagnetic spectrum. That is, in other language we can consider as higher frequency. Sorry, lower frequency mean higher wavelength. They are the lowest frequency wave in the electromagnetic spectrum. They can be up to mile in wavelength. Radio waves are used in NMR spectroscopy, radio, television, cell phone, operating using radio wave signal, that is your mobile phones. Second is microwaves. They are second lowest frequency waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. The very first lowest frequency is radio wave. After that, microwave. They can measure from few centimeter up to the foot. The range of microwave is few centimeter up to and foot. Microwave can be used in the rotational spectroscopy and radar, as well as landline phone, transmission of computer data, cooking oven, etc. Next one is infrared wave. This infrared wave lies from few millimeter to microscopic length. That is, infrared waves are very short range, short waves, lies between few millimeter to microscopic length. Then longer wavelength infrared waves produce heat, including radiation emitted by fire, the sun, and other heat producing objects. If you can produce longer wavelength infrared, then these radiations can be obtained or emitted by fire or from sun or other heat producing object. Shorter wavelength infrared rays are used vibrational spectroscopy and in remote control and imaging technology. Next one is visible light. They are only radiations that can be seen by naked eyes, the natural your eyes. Source of visible light is the sun, and it can be used in colorimetric analysis. In your practical, there is a more practical on colorimetry, and the source of visible light is sun. Then fifth one is ultraviolet waves. They have shorter detected from light. High temperature process emits UV rays. They can be every star in the sky. They are used in UV spectroscopy. The ultraviolet waves are produced by the various stars in the sky. The next one is X-ray wave. They are extremely high energy wave with wavelength between 0.03 and 3 nanometers. Everybody know that the use of X-ray. Then X-ray are emitted by sun's cosmic corona. This is sun cosmic corona. If you can carefully see the various diagram, if you can see the sun's corona, then these are emitted by sun. This radiation we call X-ray. natural sources of X-ray include enormously energetic phenomena such as pulsars, supernova, and black holes. These are supernova, these are black holes. This is the diagram of sun's cosmic rays. That is, shadow is the solar storm. X-ray are used as imagine bone structure of the body. X-ray spectroscopy used in analysis of crystal structure. Then last one, that is the seventh, that is gamma rays. They are the highest frequency wave and are emitted by only the most energetic cosmic objects such as pulsar, neutron star, supernova, and black holes. Terrestrial source including lightning, nuclear explosion, and radioactive decay. You can very much with the nuclear explosion. When there is a nuclear explosion occurs, then it emits gamma rays and radioactive decay. That is, some radioactive substance are in nature, they are readily emitted the gamma rays. And these are some again repeated pictures of sun's corona, pulsar, largest supernova, supermassive black holes. These are also emits gamma rays, but we cannot see these gamma rays, that is invisible. Then interaction of radiation with matter. The next concept is interaction of radiation with matter. When radiation bombardment with matter, then what happened? This is the concept. The interaction of radiation with matter. When matter exposed to electromagnetic radiation. This is your matter and this is electromagnetic radiation. This electromagnetic radiation bombardment with this matter, then what happens? Then this matter can be absorbed, sometimes transmitted as it is, sometimes reflected, sometimes scattered, or undergo photoluminescence. Sometimes it can be gives and light energy we call as photoluminescence. This interaction is a quantum phenomenon. This interaction we call as quantum phenomenon. It varies qualitatively depending upon the nature of matter and wavelength of radiation used. These produces the change depends upon the nature of radiation or nature of the matter and nature of the wavelength of radiation used by the source. Each one of these interactions are meaningful and can lead to useful information about the identity, structure, and amount of matter. Then, when in this radiation bombardment with matter, then this matter can produce an useful information regarding its own identity, its structure, bond length, etc. Then any radiation absorb, excite the atom or molecule in the matter from lower state to higher energy level. This is called excitation. And this energy required for this process we call as excitation energy. Means when this matter can absorb some radiant energy, then it will go to the higher energy level. This higher energy level we call as excited state, excited energy level. This excited energy level we call as E2 and lower energy state we call as E1. Then the transition energy, that is the difference in higher energy level with lower energy level we call as transition energy, is characteristics of the atomic or molecular architecture of absorbing species. Sometimes transition energy depends upon the atomic and molecular structure involving in absorbing species, so that responses given out depending on the type of atom, number of atom, type of bond, bond length, bond polarity, stereochemistry of the molecule. This delta E, that is the excitation energy, is depends upon the number of atoms, types of bond, bond length, bond polarity, or stereochemistry, etc. So the efficiency, the type and amount of radiation absorbed is informative to know the structure, identity, concentration of absorbing species. This form the basis of absorption spectroscopy, and it can be given by delta E is equal to E2 minus E1, where E2 is the higher energy level and E1 is the lower energy level. And it can be shown by transition energy is equal to energy of photon. The energy of photon is given by Planck's equation. Delta E is equal to h mu. Again, mu is equal to C upon lambda, that is from equation number 1.1. Delta E is equal to h multiplied by C divided by lambda. Then delta E is equal to constant divided by lambda, because h and C, these are constant term, means delta E is inversely proportional to the wavelength. That is smaller delta E, larger wavelength and smaller frequency. Higher delta E equal to shorter wavelength or higher frequency. Then organic spectroscopy commonly uses the radiation that cause the following excitation. The very first, rotational excitation. If the molecule can absorb some radiant energy, then it will show that the organic molecule can show the following excitation. The very first is rotational excitation. If microwave are used, then molecule undergo rotational excitation. If you can microwave wavelengths are used, then the molecule undergo rotational excitation. Vibrational excitation. If infrared radiation can use, the molecule undergo vibrational excitation. Since the energy of infrared radiation is more than the microwave, it also causes rotational excitation alongside. If you can bombardment the infrared radiation on the molecule, then this molecule undergo rotational excitation as well as vibrational excitation, because the vibrational excitation energy is higher than the rotational excitation. That is, higher energy is higher than microwave energy. Next one is electronic excitation. In this electronic excitation, radiation in the visible or ultraviolet range, if UV and visible radiation can bombardment on the molecule, then this molecule undergo electronic excitation. Then this excitation also excite its rotational and vibrational also. Then fourth one is nuclear excitation. Radio wave radiation excite the magnetic nuclei exposed to applied magnetic field to higher energy level. If you can see that radio wave is bombardment on the molecule, then the molecule or atom having nuclei, then these nuclei, that is, if it is H1, phosphorus 31, etc., then these are we call as magnetic nuclei. These nuclei can excite with the nuclear excitation, and this is the higher energy level. Okay friends, we can here completed the second lecture. After some times we will start the third lecture on this